And the question you sent over this week, and I've been thinking about it ever since I saw it. Is Clubhouse a future or is it a product? And the more I thought about it, it's like it's a future, right? And that's why the Twitters and the Facebooks and the Discords have all tried to figure out how to incorporate that functionality. If anyone's going to do it well, it's probably going to be Discord, because I think Discord already has like these notions and these concepts. And so it's just like a natural add-on to what they already do to create more interactivity and more stickiness in their communities. At its base, Clubhouse was trying to figure out how to create community. How can you expedite the creation of communities to talk about certain topics, which is a little bit different than even what I think Facebook or Twitter are almost places. Twitter, in a lot of ways, it feels like you just put content out there and then people can choose to interact with you. If you participate, that's great. If you don't participate, that's fine. Clubhouse in particular, the key there seemed like it needed to engender the real life community that would be something that multiple people can interact on in any type of situation. When I see a Clubhouse, looking at that this weekend, I was just like, well, I could also FaceTime you, or we could start a group chat. I started going through all the apps that can do this exact same thing. So this maybe is just the future. So Tam, what do you think?
I think you're spot on. Essentially, the value proposition out to the world is a new type of social network based on voice, where people around the world come together to talk, listen, and learn from each other in real time. There's so many ways to accomplish this goal. There's so many apps that do that. There's Zoom, there's social media, there's these one-to-one personal things like Slack or iMessage or WhatsApp or look, this exists already. I think it was a fake community. Called it Clubhouse, but it was fake community. I had to be invited into being able to speak. How is that engagement? The reason why Twitter is more successful is it is built around engagement. That's what makes it social media. When I first heard of Clubhouse, my immediate thought was, is this like Return of the 90s party phone line or something? Like, is that what this is? Or is this like a live podcast? And when I think about both of those things, I think the internet has moved us away from the party hotline. The internet has allowed us to have such more rich media engagement that this audio only proposition, I don't think is desirable for today's time. We've moved past that. If it's the other one, which is a live podcast, how are you better than a podcast? With a podcast, I can rewind, I can pause, I can fast forward, and I can listen to it whenever I want. You don't do any of those things. You also can't engage. This is not really a Clubhouse in the sense that my expectation is that I can engage and meet people. This sounds more like church. And nobody goes to church anymore, which is probably why nobody's on Clubhouse anymore.
Well, you don't go to church unless the choir is amazing. And in that sense, they needed to do content better. They needed content that was going to be dynamic, that was going to grow. Most of the things I saw invites for were a lot of like wealth building or financial and things like that. I think that also just as a society, we're kind of leery of this. There's a lot of the content that I saw from Clubhouse